Hi, my name is Dale Krahn. I'm from Paragon Farms, and today we're going to be talking about internal policies in this section. It's policies that you may or may not have and that may not apply to your business, but most of them probably do. You choose which ones are relevant for your operation, and you can include common policies or specific only to your farm. There'd also be guidelines for common farm practices. This section deals with handling food or animals. It may include policies on food safety, biosecurity, environmental plan, or animal welfare. These would be written in accordance with relevant government standards and associations. You may not need all these policies that are suggested. Some would be specific for your farms, others totally not relevant. In a lot of cases, government, federal or provincial, maybe even your associations have mandated that these policies be used. So you don't need to specify specific points in the policies, just simply direct the employee to where these can be found, ensuring that they know that it exists. It helps your employees understand the values and priorities in these areas. This section is about expected behavior and conduct. It may include topics such as dress code, smoking, substance use, and use of cell phones. It's important to clarify your expectations in these areas. With our farm, we set these expectations early. When employees come on the farm, first time they have an orientation, and we go through the handbook with them, and these expectations are all set. The dress code is talked about. It's not particularly important, other than you got to make sure that when you get on farm, biosecurity is followed. Change your clothing. Make sure you're not going home with the dirty farm clothes in your vehicle that you're wearing them, tracking through town. Some employers provide uniforms or special allowances for appropriate clothing. We don't have a whole lot of that. Our specified clothing is masks, rebreathers, rain gear, gum boots, those types of stuff we supply on farm. So it's not a lot that you have to bring on site for our farm. Substance abuse policy, develop that in consultation with legal advice. It's constantly changing. And for us, smoking, it's one of the substances that can be allowed, and a few of our employees smoke. Just make sure that they follow the WorkSafe guidelines. They can't smoke inside the building or near entrances or windows. So we've had to create a separate area for smoking. This section is about parking and transportation. If parking is an issue, let your employees know where that they can park. And if your employees are required to use their own vehicles during work hours, let them know how they'll be reimbursed. For our farm, we don't have too much of a parking issue. At our mill site, we had to create a separate parking section and instruct employees in that area to park and where not to park, because big trucks come in and out pretty much all day long. As far as mileage is concerned, we provide mileage reimbursement for our employees. It's only to and from certain sites. Other sites, they're just so close you can walk there, but we don't supply mileage to get to and from work. It's just simply in between locations. You may wish to include a policy around busing if this applies. This section deals with hours of work, attendance, and weather. One of the policies would be to let your employees know where they can find their schedules, where they can find their hours of work, when they start, when they're expected to finish. If this changes throughout the year, let them know where they can find it, who they can talk to find this information. If the day starts at 8 and goes till 4, you've got 2 breaks and a lunch. When is that lunch? Is it flexible? Is it paid or unpaid? Breaks, how long are they paid or unpaid, and when is an appropriate time to take them? Is it just when they feel like it, or is it mandated that it has to be at, say, 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.? Do they clock in and out? Where's the time clock? Those types of things, stuff that you'd really want to cover in an orientation. Regarding attendance and absenteeism, it's an area which can be problematic. Setting up bad habits can, if they're not addressed, the habits creep up, and the problems are bigger all of a sudden, and you're trying to deal with something that's may not be very easily correctable. Setting that expectation ahead of time is important. How are you going to deal with that? Is it some kind of a disciplinary action? The other part of it is, people are going to be late sometimes. It's weather dependent, traffic. It might just simply be slept in through my alarm. If it's not a habit, if it's once in a while, for us on our farm, we deal with that. An employee often texts or calls in and says, I slept in. It's not a big deal. We try and start at 8 a.m. and that's the plan for us. But for us, it's poultry farming. The chickens don't sleep, and they eat at night, they sleep at night, and so we got to make sure that we've got somebody watching them pretty much 24/7. Your industry might be different. If it's berry farming and it's seasonal, you might have totally different expectations. So in what circumstances would work be canceled? How will employees be notified, and what happens with their pay? With canceling of work, it takes a lot to cancel work on a chicken farm. Weather dependencies, you plow through it and figure out how to get there. If not, we'll come pick you up. So it's oftentimes we need the work more than anything. This section deals with the use of company tools and equipment. You may want a policy around the use of computers if it's applicable. For us on our farm, the computers not only are used for email or surfing the internet for information, YouTube on how to fix a certain part, but also they run the environment in our barns. The computers can be used to take all the stats from the barns, but it can also change the environment, which can be very dangerous. So for us, we tell the employees, don't touch the computers. You've got your own personal iPhones for any communication that you really need to do. If they don't, we can make special circumstance requests, deal with that. You may choose to include a policy about non-work activities during work hours. This could be anything from selling chocolates on farm to coming in to use the equipment or the shop. For us, we've got a shop. Employees want to come in and change their snow tires out, change their brakes, or do some welding. That's okay. You just have to follow all the rules that you would normally. WCB rules. Put the equipment back when you're done. So the policy about using safe equipment, maintaining it, it's very important. This section deals with PR and competitors. If your farm deals with the public, you may want to provide special training for them, information on how to deal with the public, customers, including a policy to help new employees understand your expectations when they deal with these people. On our farm, we've got different customers in different aspects. We've got hatcheries, or we've got processors that we deal with. We also have the public further down the line. So sometimes you'll deal with the public asking questions. Oh, you're a farmer, or you work on a farm. Is it true that? Well, you want to be able to, speak the truth, but say it in the right way. You also want to deal with handling complaints or the media when it comes to particularly delicate situations. It could be anything from animal welfare to a safety issue that may have happened, a WCB claim, or heaven forbid, a fatality. But next thing you know, the media is on site dealing with something. And how do you deal with that? What's your policy? Do you run away? Do you look for the shotgun behind the corner or to get him off your property, or do you just say, let me get you somebody that can talk to you and maybe divert the situation? Or are you trained to be able to talk about it? It's something that's very important, and it's on the rise. A policy that I think should not be overlooked. Another one would be employers who are concerned that employees could negatively affect their business by sharing information, anything proprietary. So, is the employee allowed to moonlight? Can they have another job somewhere else? How does that affect their day-to-day business? Are they even going to be energetic enough to do their job safely? Competition-wise, what information are you protecting? Do you want this trained employee working somewhere else? So the policies that you derive from those feelings should really be consulted with a lawyer, because you want to make sure you don't go against what the employee's rights are. In conclusion, you want to make sure that your policies are relevant to your business, to your employees, and that anything that isn't relevant isn't bloating your handbook. You want to make sure that anything that is a legal issue, you've consulted your lawyer or got other legal advice, and just make sure you've communicated the expectations to your employee.